I was at a packed networking event surrounded by professionals and entrepreneurs dressed up in business casual, business professional, and everyone looked polished and suited to the environment that we were in. And then I saw him, this guy dressed in athletic shorts and a fitted t-shirt, running shoes, and he was standing in the center of the room, commanding everyone's attention. And my first thought was, well, that's an interesting choice for this event. But as I watched people gravitate toward him, drawn by his confident body language and warm presence, I realized that this guy understood professional image more than most people in the room. And what he taught me that morning completely changed how I think about professional presence. I'm Trina Booz, CEO of Boost Academy of Excellence. I train leaders on workplace skills that actually get them promoted. Today, let's talk about what professional presence actually means and why it's so much more than just following a dress code. I had to know who this person was, so I made my way over to join his conversation circle. It turns out he owned a successful chiropractic clinic, and suddenly his outfit made complete sense. So think about it. If you're a chiropractor whose entire practice is built around physical wellness, active living, and helping people move better, then showing up in business professional attire would actually work against you. It would create distance between you and your patients, and it would contradict everything that your business stands for. So instead, his athletic attire reinforced his expertise before he even spoke. He looked fit, he looked active and healthy, exactly what someone seeking physical wellness wants to see in their practitioner. And his appearance wasn't sloppy or careless. It was intentional and it was authentic. And it was so perfectly aligned with who he was professionally. And that's the lesson right there, where professional presence is not about conforming to some universal standard. It's really just about authenticity that aligns with your professional identity. So if you imagine maybe someone in finance in athletic shorts at that networking event, that may be a little bit off brand and be a little bit strange to see, but the chiropractor, he nailed it. So when we think about professional image, we're often thinking about wardrobe and attire, but it goes way beyond that. It goes beyond the what should I wear to the interview, or can I wear jeans on Friday, or is this dress too casual for this particular event? Of course, those things do matter, but professional presence goes so much deeper than just your clothing choices. And I teach 3 essential pillars of professional image. And I've talked about it before. So the first is appearance. And of course, yes, that includes your clothing, but it also encompasses things like your posture, your facial expressions, how you carry yourself in a room. It's the visual story that you tell before you even speak a single word. And then second, your words, your vocabulary choices, your tone of voice, your ability to adapt your communication style to different audiences. And this reveals your social intelligence and your professional polish. And third, your actions. It's how you treat others. It's your punctuality, your follow through on commitments. And these behaviors form the foundation of your professional reputation. And when all of these 3 elements align authentically with who you are and what you do, that's when you develop real presence, and the kind that opens doors and creates opportunities. The impact of professional presence is not just theoretical, it's measurable. Research has shown us that leaders with strong professional presence inspire more enthusiastic followers, and professionals who cultivate their image consistently earn 20% more than their peers. That's 20%. That is significantly more. And here's what really strikes me is that every interaction that you have is essentially a negotiation. And whether you're advocating for a new idea, or you're requesting resources, or building relationships, or even pitching yourself for a promotion, the confidence that comes from a well-crafted image often is what determines who succeeds. And I have seen this play out so many times throughout my career. The person who gets promoted is not always the one with the most technical skills. It's often the person with the presence that can make others think, hey, yes, I want to see them in that role. So if I think about the chiropractor at the networking event, he understood this instinctively. His presence said, I'm an expert in physical wellness, and people believed it before he even said a single word about his credentials. Now, with so many companies calling people back to the office this year, professional presence matters more than ever. Many of you are navigating full-time in-person work again, and others are in hybrid environments where you're splitting time between home and office. And some of you might still be fully remote. Now, the challenge, your professional presence needs to translate across all of these settings. And I'll be honest, when I spent years working primarily virtually, I got comfortable with my home office setup. But as in-person events and meetings have increased, I realized I needed to be just as intentional about my virtual presence as my in-person presence. So I made an investment. My talented brother-in-law, Timon, who's a professional carpenter, designed and built a custom backdrop for my office. And it perfectly captures the essence of my brand. And here's why that matters. Whether I'm conducting a virtual training or appearing on a podcast or meeting with a client over a video call, my environment needed to align with my professional identity. Just like the chiropractor's athletic wear and how it reinforced his expertise, my virtual environment needed to reinforce mine. And of course, it's not just about looking good on camera, it's about creating consistency across every setting where you show up professionally. Let me share the 3 biggest mistakes I see professionals make in their image. Number 1, they try to be someone they're not. I once coached a creative professional who was kind of forcing herself into this corporate business attire sort of image because she thought that's what professional meant. And her discomfort was very visible in every meeting. And then she finally started to dress in a way that honored her creative identity, which was polished but artistic, and her confidence soared, and so did her career. Because professional presence is not about conformity, it's about authenticity that is intentional. Number 2, they forget that nonverbals matter more than words. Research tells us that 55% of communication is your body language. And you can say all the right things, but if your posture is slouched and your eye contact is weak or your facial expressions don't match your words, people won't believe you. I learned this during a virtual presentation when I didn't realize my camera angle made me look like I was looking down at people. And the feedback was clear. My words said partnership, but my body language said hierarchy. It just looked strange. Number 3, they think they can have a different standard for virtual versus in-person. Whether you're in the office, on a video call, or a networking event, your professional presence should be consistent. Your virtual background, your lighting, your camera angle matter just as much as what you wear to an in-person meeting. And if you're showing up polished in the office, but sloppy on video calls, people will notice the inconsistency. So let me give you 4 concrete ways to elevate your professional presence. First, you want to prepare intentionally for each day. Look at your calendar each morning. What's the context? Who are you meeting with? And prepare accordingly, whether that's in person or virtual, and always have a go-to professional outfit ready for unexpected, unimportant meetings. And second, mind your nonverbals in every setting. Stand tall, make eye contact, which on camera means looking at the lens, not the screen. And be mindful of your facial expressions. Your body language speaks louder than words. And whether people are seeing you in person or on screen, it matters. And third, create alignment across all 3 pillars. Your appearance, your words, your actions should tell a consistent story. And if you're presenting yourself as detail-oriented, but you're chronically late to meetings, that misalignment undermines your credibility. And fourth, be as intentional about your virtual presence as your in-person presence. You don't need a custom backdrop, but you do need good lighting, a clean background, and a camera setup that presents you professionally. And for those of you still in hybrid or fully remote environments, your virtual presence is making first impressions every single day. That chiropractor in athletic shorts taught me something important. Professional presence isn't about following arbitrary rules. It's about showing up authentically in a way that aligns with who you are and what you do. And the key word again is intentional. He was not wearing athletic clothes because he didn't care about professional image. He was wearing them because they reinforced his professional identity perfectly. So here's my challenge for you today. Look at your own professional presence across all the 3 pillars I spoke about: appearance, words, actions. And are they aligned? Are they authentic to who you are? And do they support the career that you are trying to build? And then ask yourself, does my presence translate consistently across every setting where I show up professionally? Whether that's in the office, on video calls, at networking events, or all of the above. If not, it's time to make some intentional changes, because in a world where every interaction matters, your professional presence is one of your most valuable career assets. If this episode gave you a new perspective on professional image, subscribe to the podcast and leave a 5-star rating and share it with colleagues who you think might benefit. And of course, drop me a comment telling me about a time where someone's professional presence really impressed you. And if you want to dive deeper into building authentic professional presence, visit boostacademyofexcellence.com to explore our courses and workshops, including our professional image module. Thank you for listening. Now go show up as your most authentic, intentional, and professional self. I'll see you in the next one.